Jake Skin from the Boxed In podcast. Delighted to be joined here by Dalton Smith. Dalton, just finished your training session. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Good session this morning. So, just in a good place.
In a good place, ready for tomorrow, which are the purse bids, obviously, for your fight against Subriel Mattis. What is your kind of mindset? I guess there's kind of four potential destinations the fight could take place. Is it something that, as a fighter, you're really bothered about? Also, I know it would be nice to have it in Sheffield, but the main thing is you get the job done wherever.
Yeah, look, wherever it's going to be, what will be, will be. You know, to play out how it's meant to be. And, of course, if I could pick, it'd be nice to have it over here in my hometown. But, yeah, look, it is what it is. It'll play out how it's meant to be, like I said. But, you know, like I said, my mindset's just the same as it is for any other fight. You know, and I don't tend to put too much pressure on myself. I just know I'm confident. You know, it's probably going to be 2.5, 3 months away. You know, it's plenty of time. So, you know, I'm just sat back, relaxed, chilling, and I just know when the date comes and everything comes together. You know, I want to be excited and ready for it.
So obviously you're doing a bit of fishing in that. Is that something that you kind of like, you know, just to, when this is all going on, you know, people asking you, oh, when you're going to fight this and that, is it nice to just get away and, you know, relax?
Yeah, like you say, it's, you know, whenever you see something, it's like, oh, when's this fight? Everyone messaging you, oh, can we book flights? But look, I know just as much as you do. But yeah, like you said, with the fishing and stuff, you know, I can't sit in the house. I always have to be out doing something, and you know that's what I enjoy. I like fishing. Obviously, recently started playing a bit of golf, and yeah, I just think as a fighter, you've got to find other things to keep you occupied. Otherwise, boxing will, you know, it takes over your mind and sends you crazy. But it's just finding that nice balance. You know, when you're in the gym and you're training, you're there to work, but in your spare time in between, you know, you've got to find stuff what you enjoy.
You said obviously that, you know, finding stuff that you enjoy and that you do enjoy being in the gym. That's obviously the main place where you will be. Is it kind of now everything is focused on Subriel Mattis? Obviously he's the guy that you're pretty much going to be fighting. How do you kind of, though, with not knowing the date, you said it's 2-3 months away, does that kind of affect you mentally in any way, knowing that this is the guy that I'm fighting, but you don't know when?
No, like I said, you can easily stress yourself out, but you know what's meant to be is meant to be, and it's going to play out how it's meant to be. The only thing you've got to do as a fighter is be 100% prepared. You know, do everything right, be a true professional, which I always am, and everything else will just play out. You know, some things you can't control yourself. The only thing you can control is making sure you're 100%, and you know, I think that's the main thing.
If you do, obviously, beat Subriel Mattis when the fight happens, do you want to defend that WBC belt back in Sheffield, or do you want to go straight into Undisputed? Do you kind of have any idea of what the plan is, or is it the Mattis fight so far away that your focus is at the moment just on that?
When I beat Subriel, you know, which I know I will, like I said, whatever's meant to be is meant to be. But like I say, I've got one job on my hands, and that's to beat Subriel, and you know, I'm confident I'm going to do that. But I have the biggest nights of boxing in my hometown. You know, I'm still chasing that dream as much as we're not in a good position at the minute. You know, selling out Hillsborough, my beloved football stadium. You know, that's still at the top of the tree. That's what I want to achieve, and you know, these are the steps what's going to get me to there. And you know, I just can't wait to, you know, achieve a childhood dream of becoming a world champion, and for me that's one fight away.
It is one fight away. Obviously we spoke Subriel Mattis, the man standing in your way. What do you think he brings to the ring?
I think he's, you know, all round he's a great champion. Like I said, I'll always respect somebody who's just, you know, he's being respectful. You know, he's a great champion. You know, you don't win 2 world titles by, you know, being ordinary. You know, he's relentless, comes with the pressure, he's got the power, you know, got the knockout record. You know, he's a true champion. He's a real fighter, and you know, so am I. But look, it's going to be one hell of a fight. Like I said, we're still plenty of time away, but yeah, I just think it's going to be a very entertaining fight for the supporters.
You corrected me saying when you win. Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that you get in the ring, you win this fight 100%?
I think for me, because I never go into a fight to be there for a payday or to whatnot. Because look, me going into a world title, it's not life-changing money. It's what comes after that. Money's not. I'm not doing this for the money. I want to be a world champion, and whether that's taking a cut to get a world title challenge and what you're confident in, you know, I'm going to do that. And like I said, I'm just confident. You know, I'm not here to make up the numbers. I'm here to be number one. I'll never go into a fight not believing I wouldn't win. Us fighters were delusional. But you need to have that. You need to have the confidence, believe in yourself. And yeah, I mean, the position I'm in right now, you know, that 6-year-old kid dreamt of that. You know, I want to be there one day. Every kid does that. You know, how many kids want to be a footballer? How many kids want to be a world champion boxer? And I'm one fight away from achieving that. And I don't believe I'm anybody special. I've just worked hard. I've always believed in myself. And, you know, what a buzz it's going to be when I achieve that.
Certainly will be. Two other fighters in the gym looking to get a big buzz after they win, and Mick Conlon and Junaid Bostan. What have you seen from those guys in camp? Obviously hoping to have successful fight nights.
Yeah, I mean, both of them, you know, been firing all cylinders in the gym. You know, Junaid, Mick, and, you know, obviously it's hard as well because obviously I'm there supporting Mick. He's, you know, I believe he's going to win, you know, the way he's been performing in the gym. But it's hard, obviously. I've grew up with Jack as well, you know, but one of the nicest kids in boxing. But that's the hard part of boxing, you know, friends fight, and that's the way it is. It's business, and, you know, two great fighters. You know, I believe Mick is going to win the fight. You know, he's been looking great in the gym. But that's boxing. And obviously Junaid got some wrongs to put into rights, and you know, I believe he's going to do that. He's, you know, like, he's matured. He's, you know, learning all the time in the gym. Some great sparring, and, you know, especially his last fight. Sometimes us fighters, we go through that stage in his career where we have them 1-2 fights where it's like, right, we need to pick ourselves up and put more in. And it's all about learning, and, you know, I believe he's done that. And like I said, it's going to be two great performances from the lads.
They are obviously two very good fights. Junaid, obviously, like we said, that first fight was very close, and then just looking at Mick Conlon and Jack Bates, and you can tell it is just going to be a really good fight. As a fighter, is it kind of, when you're pushing for these big, you know, Subriel, Mattis type fights, is it nice to have people around you that are in that same mindset?
100%, and especially Mick. You know, I joke with him all the time. I used to idolise Mick in a way. I used to be on like selective training for England camps, and Mick would be there on international training at GB, and I was like, oh my god, that's Mick Conlon. And now I know him, I just know he's just like any normal person. No, Rajd as they come. But what experience he's got, knowledge, advice, just listening to him in the gym. And, you know, us fighters need to listen to people like that, because it's very rare you get a fighter with that experience, where he's been in the world. And you know, he's a credit to have in the gym, and, you know, we all love him here.
To finish, I got some quick-fire questions on the Steel City gym mates. So, who is the funniest?
Who's the funniest? We've got some characters in here, but I'm probably gonna go with Mick. Yeah, Mick. Mick seems to be more the joker in the gym at the minute.
Who is the hardest worker?
The hardest worker? It's hard to say because we all work hard, but, you know, I back myself. You know, I'm a pretty hard. I work hard, man, and you know, but I just think we all work as hard as each other.
Who is the most talented?
The most talented? Again, it's hard. It really is hard. I'm gonna have to back myself. You gotta believe in yourself, ain't you? You know, lads will probably give me some jip if they know it's me, but, you know, they're gonna say themselves, I'm gonna say myself.
Who is the strongest puncher?
Pound for pound. Like again, I back myself, but I'm not going to do it 'cause people are like, he's got some big ego. It's hard. I can't pick that one.
The fastest puncher.
The fastest. Mick's got fast hands. It's hard because it is hard. It's hard to pick. Fuck it, I'm gonna say me. Fuck 'em. Yeah, going for me.
And who are the coach's favourites?
The coach's favourite. I think my dad's took a liking to Mick. I think I'm the least favourite. You know, son. I think I'm the least favourite. I get all the stick. Junaid gets some stick, but he just had the sun treatment. What a tuner. Can the camera pick that up?
I'm not sure if it will, but yeah.
The funny story, I never actually listened to this song. So if it comes on the radio, on my phone, whatever, I'll always skip it because I don't want to outplay the song. Like when that song comes on, it's on my ring walk. So it's the ring walk. I mean business. So I always switch it off whenever it's on elsewhere.
That's actually a really good point you make there. 'Cause yeah, thinking about that, if the song is played all the time, it's just going to become natural. Yeah. Yeah.
I always sing a bit, Grandad. But like you said, when this song comes on and I do my ring walk, you know, I think it's business. You know, you hear everyone singing. So yeah, I keep that one for the ring walk, not the changing rooms.
Finally, I will just get your word. You say that it's business. A fight that is going to be business for both fighters is Canelo versus Crawford this month. What are you expecting from that fight?
Two of the best in the world, pound for pound. You know, I'd be backing Canelo. I'd want Canelo to win. But I won't be surprised if Crawford does it. You know, who's the fresher one, who's got more in the tank left. But, you know, I'd be backing Canelo. You know, one of my favourite fighters. So, but look, it's going to be a great fight. You know, Turkey makes things happen, we won't be getting these fights without His Excellency. So, you know, big up Turkey. And yeah, even me as a boxing fan, you know, we're all in for a treat.
Dalton Smith, thanks so much for your time.